Happy Halloween, Nerd Army! It's my favorite time of year. So many different horror movies and so many different scary stories and all the candy, of course. As always, I'm Nerdy number 3, and this theory is going to be a little more PG than the other ones that I've done, so be careful. It's also a bit longer, so just bear with me, alright? You ready? This theory is on a horror movie that is so popular that they make references about it even in children's movies. The movie The Shining is based on a book by the famous Stephen King. However, this movie and its characters came to life by the performances of the actors, some maintaining fame well after and some going off the map. For example, Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance, Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran, Shelley Duvall as Wendy Torrance, and many more. There are so many theories about this movie that it was hard to pick just one to expand on. But this one is my personal favorite because it changes the entire feeling of the film. If you don't know the story of The Shining, here come spoilers. The Shining is the ultimate story of a man going insane and trying to kill his entire family. So Jack Torrance gets a new job at the Overlook Hotel and relocates his wife Wendy and his son Danny to the hotel so they're not far apart from each other. Early on in the movie, Danny is proven to have a special ability of foretelling the future in his mind. This is known as The Shining. He foretells that the hotel is not a good place to live in because it is haunted by a force that drives people crazy. His family moves to the hotel and he starts to see all the things that he saw in his visions, especially the ghost twin girls. While Danny explores the hotel with his mom, Jack is driven insane by his work and the force that is in the hotel. Jack is shown to deteriorate more and more as the movie continues, and he starts to become a little bit more distant from Wendy and Danny. He also becomes very abusive to Wendy. Then at the end of the movie, we see that he has lost his mind completely and he tries to hurt Wendy and Danny. He runs around with an axe. Then, enter the axe scene where Jack yells,
"Here's Johnny!"
as he breaks through the door. Then he runs around trying to kill Wendy more, and then he dies, being frozen to death in the snow in a large maze beside the hotel. But then we see a picture of Jack with a lot of people dated 1921. Which is 60 years before they arrived. This photo alone adds gasoline to an already melting brain. Then it transitions to credits. The theory of the many that changed my look on the movie is that little Danny Torrance planned all of the chaos and destruction that was demonstrated in the movie in the first place. I know this is probably insane for many of you to hear, and probably blows your mind that this theory could even exist. But it does, and I'm going to be adding my own little twist to it. So let's take it step by step and examine all the evidence that there is to support this theory. In the beginning of the movie, there is a conversation between Danny's doctor and his mother Wendy, in which it is revealed that due to traumatic events in Danny's past, he has developed an imaginary friend that lives in his mouth named Tony. It is also revealed that when Tony is threatened, he hides in Danny's stomach. Now, what does Tony have to do with anything? Well, Tony is formed in Danny's mind as an imaginary friend to help him recover from a traumatic event, right? Well, what traumatic event did Danny go through in order for him to form Tony? In the same conversation between the doctor and Wendy, we found out that Jack previously and accidentally broke and dislocated Danny's arm. Wendy, of course, reassures and defends her husband to the doctor that it was a drunken accident, and Jack hadn't drinking since the incident. We, the audience, are inclined to believe her in the fact that it was an accident until we fast forward in the months and see Jack's mentality and stability of sanity slipping away from him. We see him talking to a bartender that is later revealed to be never there, discussing the accident, but something throws it off. Jack's testimony and his word says that the accident happened
3 goddamn years ago!
Wait, what? Wendy had just said it happened months ago, but now it had been years? This suggests that either Wendy never grasped the concept of time, or this wasn't the first time that Jack had hurt Danny in this way. This also means that Jack had been abusing Danny for longer than Wendy's knowledge. But the arm yanking was the first physical occurrence and made Wendy believe that it was just an anomaly. After this occurrence, Jack got clean, as confirmed by Wendy, and didn't hurt Danny physically anymore. However, just because he stopped doing it doesn't mean the trauma has disappeared. For example, if you watch closely at the scene where Danny goes to retrieve his fire truck, you can definitely see Danny flinch when Jack tries to put his arm around his son. It's obvious that Danny is still threatened by his father and still scared of him. This discomfort causes Danny to ask a very interesting question.
Dad?
What?
You would never hurt Mommy and me, would you?
Let me repeat that for you.
Dad?
What?
You would never hurt Mommy and me, would you?
Just in case you didn't catch it.
Dad?
What?
You would never hurt Mommy and me, would you?
Okay, did you get it? Yes? Okay, moving on. Here's something interesting about the question and the timing that he asked. Danny asked this question to his father out loud, but he is actually psychically commanding Jack, saying, "You can't hurt us." If you notice in the movie, Jack is staring straight at his dad and quiet after he asks the question. He stares at his father because he knows that his father heard and understood the question and knows the answer that he will give. Also, if you noticed, throughout the film we never see Jack physically hurt Wendy nor Danny. He does hurt a bathroom door and the very unfortunate Dick Halloran. Speaking of Dick, Danny knew that Dick was aware of his abilities. He knew that once Dick knew that Jack died under unusual circumstances, Dick would go out of his way to be the first and only person to look at Danny. This also explains why when Dick saw the horrors happening at the Overlook Hotel using his shining, he didn't tell the police when he called the station for a sidewinder of the mountain. This also adds the explanation that when Danny used the image of Grady to warn Jack that he was on his way to stop him, Danny was setting up for Dick to be the scapegoat. So with his ability to shine, Danny could have planted the hallucinations of the ghosts in his father's head to drive him more and more insane as the movie continues. For example, his alter ego Tony calling the shots. As Tony tells Danny when he sees the twins,
It's just like pictures in a book, Danny.
Danny could have easily overheard about the murder of Grady and his family from the hotel staff and used that information to implement his plan to force Jack to lose his mind. During the scenes where Jack is completely mad, who is he mostly trying to get his hands on? Wendy, his wife. Wendy is the one that drags Danny with her wherever she goes. But Jack is not concerned with hurting Danny. He is more concerned with getting his hands on Wendy, but he never physically hurts her.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Because as Danny said before, he can't. Danny is just the one going for a ride while his mother drags him around. But if Jack had wanted to hurt Danny, he would have went straight after Danny instead of going straight for Wendy. He only goes for Danny when he kills Dick because Danny knew what happened. Other than that, he doesn't go for Danny. But the thing is, Jack already knows that he is unable to hurt them because of Danny. Danny told Jack, with the knowledge beforehand of what would happen, that he wasn't going to be able to hurt him or his mother because he would die there and they would get away. So is Danny really the mastermind behind it all? Did he use his mental abilities to set everything up? Did he already know what was gonna happen at this hotel? Or is this all just a silly fan theory? Well, there's so many questions in so little time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. And if you see yourself in the next few pictures, make sure to leave a comment and show your friends. You guys have some really nice costumes. And remember, my theories are just that, theories. Happy Halloween, Nerd Army, and make sure to collect lots of candy for me. Until next time, see you later and remember to subscribe.